Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and yes, I am back, and we are back at it again with the Marvel Select reviews. Today we are looking at Psylocke, the Deluxe Collector's figure with Diorama base. Also known as this one, so if you're familiar with Diamond Select, you're probably familiar with their Marvel Select line, and probably familiar with some of their X-Men figures that come with a lot of the Danger Room stuff, so this figure is no different. So here she is, Betsy Braddock. So yeah, I think she's pretty cool. Here she is with Spider-Man. You can see that she's actually a little bit taller than him, which is kind of interesting. And then as far as how tall she actually stands, let's find out together. She is, let's say, let's say just shy of 7.5 inches, more like 7.25 inches. A little bit more than that, somewhere between 7.5 and 7.25 inches. Then that makes her, let's say, just under 19 centimeters, including the top of her hair poof thing. So here she is. She looks really good. There's no two ways about it. This figure looks really good. I really like the shade of blue that they have with most of her suit. How it kind of has that like metallic look to it. That looks really cool on the chest, as well as with the arms and the legs. Like that looks really good. Absolutely no complaints there. I do like the pink here. It's almost like a bubble gum type color for this little waist thing. You do have the X logo on there. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, so there you go. There's that. And then I do also like the way that it's kind of like tied off here and it's just kind of billowing behind her. I think that's pretty cool. I like her ammo here, her ammo pouches or whatever these are, in like this dark yellow color. That's pretty cool. And it is a loose piece, so it kind of goes all over the place. But yeah, then you got like her strap here that goes around to her sword. And yes, the sword is a separate piece. We'll look at that later. And then, yeah, the hair. My goodness, the hair looks really good. This is probably like some of the best sculpted hair that I've seen in an action figure before, for what that's worth. So, like, if I ever put a list together of, like, the best, hair on action figures, I'd probably give this figure number one. So, there you go. And then her face looks really good. She looks like she just does not care, right now, which I guess is kind of appropriate for her character. If you want her to be more active in her fighting pose, then you have this head here. We'll look at the other accessories later, but yeah, I figured I might as well show you this head as well, because you have the hair that's kind of going off to the side. I really like the shade of purple, how it's like purple, but then they have like some pink in there, as well as almost like a brownish color. It's like a really dark purple that's kind of brown. So it just adds some extra texture to it and makes it feel like actual hair, instead of just, like a sculpt. So, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then, yeah, this is an alternate hand, but I figure this would make sense. You have some of her psychic energy projected into a blade. I think that's pretty cool. And then we'll go over that stuff later. So I think for right now, again, there's not really a whole lot else to talk about with the aesthetic here. I think that it's pretty cool. I mean, what you see is what you get, and I think it's really cool. I don't even have that much issue with paint. Because like they even like painted this to make it look like her leg kind of goes up a little bit more into the swimsuit type thing. And they did that on both sides, and I don't really have much of an issue with the paint on there. So I think the paint is good, and yeah, I think the figure looks really good. I like kind of the asymmetrical details as well, that there's like more straps up here, but then there's like it's like sort of exposed a little bit on this side. I think that looks really cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this figure. I don't really know what else to say as far as like how it looks. It's like it looks good, and it looks like comic book Psylocke. Definitely doesn't look like Marvel Rivals Psylocke, but I think that that's fair, because they kind of did their own design with that, and this is based off of the comics. And when I think of Psylocke, I think of this design anyway. So there you go. Now, as far as articulation goes, her head does rotate, and it can look up a little bit, and it can look down a little bit. So there you go. And then with her arms, they can go up about that far comfortably. Then they could also rotate all the way around. You do get a bicep swivel right here, so that's pretty good. You do get double joints for the um, elbows there. It's kind of tight, but there you go. You do get a double jointed elbow, and that's pretty good. And then because she comes with like a million alternate hands, she would, as you would guess, she does have a swivel as well as a hinge for the wrists, so that's pretty good. And then as far as the torso is concerned, her upper torso does turn a little bit. There's nothing in the lower torso, but you can get her to go forward about that far, and she can go back about that far. So I think that's good. And just be careful because theoretically these parts could break off, so just be careful with all of that. So there you go. And then as far as the legs are concerned, they can go out really far, so that's really good. And theoretically you'd have the same thing, but you know, this kind of gets in the way. So there you go. There's that. And then they do go forward about that far, so that's really good. And then they go back only a little bit, like barely at all, but there is reason for that. They kind of sculpted that in there. I guess maybe somebody that worked on this figure maybe works for McFarlane Toys now. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. And then you don't get a thigh swivel. Well, you don't get a thigh swivel up here, but you kind of get one up at the top here. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it does actually move a little bit. So it's not much, but it is technically there. So there you go. And then you do also get a double joint for the knee there. So that looks pretty good. And that's about all that we have with that. And then you do get a it almost looks like you're supposed to have a boot rotation here, or like a cut up here, but I can't get these to move. So maybe there is a cut there, but I can't tell. And then as far as the ankles go, they can go back really far, they can go forward really far, and they do also have a pivot there. So there you go. Now she has a broken ankle. I have done this, by the way. I have broken my ankle before, and I do not recommend that. I definitely do not recommend that. But yeah, if you want to break her ankles, you could. So there you go. And then that's about it as far as Psylocke is concerned for the most part. However, while I was doing the articulation, it's like I might as well show what the range is for her alternate head, because her hair is more off to the side or something like that. Okay. I cannot get her head to come off. I've actually never tried this before, so yeah, that's really stuck. All right, I am going to heat that up, and then like probably, oh, there we go. All right, I just said that I'm not going to worry about it, and then I got it off, so there you go. And then I suppose we might as well get the other head on here. Bear with me, get on there. Okay, that looks off. Looks like I just literally broke her neck. But yeah, so just kind of put that on there. And then there we go. All right, so there's that. And then that actually looks really good. So then as far as the range goes with that, it's actually pretty much the same. So it doesn't really make much of a difference as far as articulation goes which head you have on. But we're going to have that head on because I think that looks pretty good. So there we go. So that is an alternate head that she has. That's part of her accessory. She also comes with this. And this is, I'm not going to try to say the Japanese, because I'm most likely going to butcher it, but you know what she says in Marvel Rivals, her alt line. It's probably pertaining to that, so, there you go. And what you can do is you can just kind of plug it, around her head like that, because she has kind of a groove in here, with her hair. So there's kind of like a space there. And because there's like a thing that kind of sticks out on this side, what you're supposed to do is just kind of slide it on in there, and then, you know, go kind of like that. It looked better in the packaging. There we go. Yeah, it looked better in the packaging because it was actually so it was sort of tied down with a rubber band. And as soon as I opened this, I removed the rubber band because I'm like, oh, I don't need this. I'll be fine. Well, I probably should have kept it, but there you go. Yeah, you get the idea. So there you go. There's her using her power. So there you go, which is projecting itself through this. So that is an alternate hand that she comes with. She does also have a fist hand on this side. So there you go. But then she has a whole bunch of other hands. So she does have for either side, she does have this kind of gesturing hand. So there you go. I think that those look pretty good. So there's not really much to say about those. She does also have a just a regular where is it? Here it is. She does also have a regular fist hand on her other side. So if you don't want her to have a fist and the sword thing coming out, you can just give her a regular fisted hand and that's fine. And then she does also have gripping hands for either side, but it's not a gripping hand like the McFarlane figures where they're constantly ready to hold a gun. These are just regular gripping hands for what would theoretically be a sword. And I say theoretically because we'll talk about the sword in a little bit, but basically the sword's handle is a little too big for these hands to hold. So even though they're definitely supposed to hold a sword and you just put it in there like that, you just have her hold the sword. She can't really do that with this because the grip is just a little too small. Maybe that's just my figure, I don't know. But yeah, just be warned with that even though these hands are clearly meant to hold the sword, they might not be able to do that. And then she also has these hands here, which I think are kind of interesting. So there you go. I think this is meant to be like a psychic thing where she's like, like tapping the side of her head like this to channel her psychic energy. That's probably what it is. But yeah, so there's that. And then there's this one, which I don't know what this is supposed to be. Her fingers look kind of messed up. I've actually broken a finger too, by the way. And I don't recommend that either. But yeah, so there you go. I don't know what this is for, but yeah, that's it. And then since I was talking about it, we might as well talk about the sword. So it looks really good. I like the gold that's on there for like the grooves in the hilt. Y'all will focus on that. There we go. And then you get some gold on the very tip of the blade there, or the very bottom of the blade. And yeah, it looks really good. There's not really much else to say because I can't actually get her to hold it, so I'll just slide it back in there. Besides, she has her psychic sword thing there, so yeah, I think that that's good. Besides, when I think of Psylocke, I think of her power, so it's like, she can make her own sword, so it's like she doesn't really need it. So there's that. And then she does also come with this Danger Room piece here. And I think that this looks pretty good. I like the base here. It looks good. It almost looks metallic. It's not. It's a pretty good plastic, but it looks metallic. And yeah, so I like the grooves on there. And then you got some detail on this thing as well. So there you go. You got some like paneling there, or like a vent. You got like elevator controls or something like that. And yeah, you got some more paneling. You got some stuff like that. And then I think all you're supposed to do with this is you can turn this on the base because it actually came detached in the box. These two pieces were separate, so you could just pop this on in here, and then you can just turn this. So there we go. You could have her like fighting these things. So you can have her like going up against these. So this would just turn, and then she would have to fight them or jump through them or whatever. So there you go. And then yeah, so that's about it with that. And then she does also come with this thing. And you already know, if you've seen my previous Marvel Select reviews, you already know what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say it again. We need a Kamala Khan figure. It would be really easy for them to make it, and I'm pretty sure it would sell really well. So yeah, we need a Marvel Select Kamala Khan. Please make it happen. And yeah, those other guys too, so that's pretty cool. Then you get a little thing there. There's the Storm figure, and then they got some other ones there. So that's pretty cool. And then on this other side, you got some of their other stuff. So that's pretty cool. They got Deadpool's Assemble. That one looks interesting. So yeah, there we go. There's that. And then the only other thing to talk about is the usual massive box. So Psylocke Deluxe Collector's figure with Diorama base. You got some like blue on here for the logo there. Got some nice purple on the inside there with some comic stuff in there. That's pretty cool. And then with the back, if you don't know who Psylocke is, you can read up on her with that, as well as who made the figures. That's pretty cool. And then you get some pictures of the Rogue figure, which I really, really want this Rogue figure, but I haven't been able to find it. Then you got Beast, and Beast looks pretty cool too. And then on the side here, you get a nice picture of her, and she looks really good like that. And then, yeah, that's about it. So there you go. So shout out to the store where I got this. It's the same store where I got the Thanos figure, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this review, or you like Psylocke, or you like the Marvel Select line, or you agree that Marvel Select needs to make a Kamala Khan figure, then if you like any of that, do be sure to leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you think of this figure, or the line, or anything else. So, there's that. And then if you like my Marvel Select reviews, and you want to see more, well, do be sure to subscribe, because I already have a few. And I do intend to continue that, but that's all I have for today. So, other than all of that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.